Part 1. People play games to control the outcome for these reasons. Point number 1. Play as a refugee from real life. In a game, there is less responsibility with a high margin for error. This is the common denominator, if I can say, why people play games. Besides the fact that it explores creativity and has many other benefits, blah, 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 and so on. But with regards to our context, confidence comes from doing things right in a certain way multiple times, and these add up, and you can call yourself a master. This is largely how I see things. And so people play games just so they have control over things. This gives them confidence, but it's some sort of fake confidence, but it works. The illusion works. It will always work. Playing games is good to a certain point. Your creativity, the need to control the outcome, that's fine. But you don't need to let this direct how you live your life, right? There is the inner frame, the inner world, the illusion where you feel good that you finish the game, you beat the final boss, and so on. And there is also the character that you constantly upgrade and improve, and so on. There is the skill, the experience, and the levels. There is, anyway, let's call them rules, but this is just the illusion, the inner side of things. And there is also the outer world, that perspective, where you will really have to improve your skills real life with mentors and repetition and practice and training and so on. Everything is difficult. And the gray area here is a bit larger, right? There are no set rules. And so the only difference here is that the inner world, the way you gain that confidence is through the illusion of playing a game and having control in there. But obviously, you can't see this firsthand because you're trapped, but this is how the brain, neurochemistry, the neurobiology, and everything in your body works. You feel good, right? It stems from your dopamine release. So it really gives people a way to run away from life, from responsibilities, from taking care of themselves, from putting in the work. But the real secret, and I'll give it to you, is to detach yourself from your responsibilities, from what you have to do. The moment you detach yourself, those responsibilities become easier, cleaner, lighter, if I can say, because you don't see them through your own. I mean, like it's not a life or death situation, if I can put it like that. You can afford to lose, right? But so that's when you take them personally. But when you detach and you just solve problems through the path of least resistance, then life becomes a game, and a pleasant one. And once you start compounding the actions you take on the outside, in the outer world, and that's when you get the most benefits, all right? And I'm contrasting this with playing a game, which you shouldn't do obsessively, right? There is always a limit. There is a balance to be struck. So now that we know that people play games so they have control. And point number 2 is playing a game has definite rules. Just like a system to run effectively requires rules and discipline for outcomes. In life, there are no set systems, but the ones we enforce, we create to produce a certain outcome, right? People are designed to save energy because the food was scarce, and obviously survival of the fittest is based on becoming stronger and eating more so you can perpetuate the species. This is just a short thingy. And so this system is basically random. That is, you get to eat when you have the chance to. Then what people came up with is to stay away from systems specifically. But that was before the society emerged, the tribes, the communities and all that, where systems are in place to ensure, this is a thing, to ensure survival, right? It's not like back in the day when you used to eat when you had the chance to. No, now you eat because you make it happen, right? And this is what a system is. And this is what a game does with regards to our video. And so how can we get confidence, and ultimately why we play games, and how to reverse engineer this so we can improve our own lives, all right? A game has rules, has a system, has set conditions in place. You do A and it will get you B. If you start here on the map, then you can create and you can explore and you can improve yourself. That's what a game does, basically. So there is a system. But what systems are in real life, as now we come to the point, is the ones that we make, and we don't make them because somebody else ensured the survival, a job and a supermarket. So you work at the job to buy from the supermarket food, to go back to the job to eat more from the supermarket or something. You see how stupid this is? And people abide to this rule unconsciously. But I want you to be open-minded and think a bit for yourself right in this moment. Look at your own situation. How can you improve it, right? Ask yourself loads of questions, and by the way, use AI to help you structure your thinking so you can get the results you after. What kind of systems you can come up on your own? Because this is the point here. If people play games to get artificial confidence, how can you reverse engineer engineer this in real life. You first detach, we're gonna talk about this in a bit, and then you create your own systems that will ensure success, just like the society ensures survival, right? It's not survival of the fittest, but it's just survival, an ongoing structure that supports the individual, and it goes as slow as the weakest link in the chain. That is people that are dependent on the government and so on. But either way, you gotta come up with a system. So come up with a plan for yourself, like literally just take a pad and come up with a plan and follow it through. But make sure this plan feels good intuitively, right? Make sure it's got the confirmation of your gut feeling. Point number 2, confidence comes from having control over certain things. Point number 1, true confidence comes from releasing control and dropping importance. Is the meaning we attribute to things. For example, when a nice girl is looking at us and we're indecisive about whether or not should we go and get the phone number or not, because we put her on a pedestal and we think we have a high opinion of her. This will create importance, and this importance creates excess potential. Excess potential is what the harmony and the law of balance in the universe tries to bring to zero or back to the floating line. And so what you do, how you dissipate this potential is by action, right? You either change the point of focus or you drop everything, right? And you detach and let whatever happens, happen. You literally diminish the meaning of that girl. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you always own the option to have no option on a situation. Letting go means refusing to label an external event as good or bad. When you stop fighting reality with frustration, you maintain your inner peace. And so what releasing control means is letting go of the importance you give things, the meaning you attribute to things. And so releasing control means to stop fighting against yourself. You need to observe yourself. That's the point you need to adopt. That's the stance. Observer, always, right? The mind is gonna talk bullshit. It's gonna come up with stuff, but just observe it. That's all you have to do. Point number 2, true confidence comes from aligning your heart and mind in the pursuit of your goal. This is a big idea because the moment you are properly aligned in your intention, that is in your logic and emotion, then you become an unstoppable force, right? This is how you gain confidence. You align your heart's desire with your mind's intention, and these two forces create true confidence. This coordination, you give no importance to outer things and you properly aligned in your intention. You have your mind and your heart aligned. At first, it took me a while to understand this concept and to even apply it, but now I understand it and I can share it plainly, right? So you need to have no resistance inside when you choose something. Even when bad things happen and you look at them and you see them for what they are, apparently, they are actually blessings in disguise. You want to see them as such, right? Because a bad event can bring you a different opportunity and you want to see it as such. There will never be a such thing as a bad event. You will always have things happening to you because the material reality around you moves, and it will always do this. So what's left for you is to interpret it in a way where it's favorable to you. So the takeaway here is to see if you have any internal tension, any resistance. Any degree of tension means a no from your heart. That's how you know it. So start tuning into that feeling mind and see how you feel about certain decisions you take. From there, it's just a matter of time until you perfect yourself. And the moment you perfect yourself, the moment you do only things that feel good and you know logically it's the right thing to do, then that's how you give birth to self-confidence. Self-confidence is when you look at the outside and how they respond to you. But what I'm teaching you here is to start believing in yourself, right? First, resolve the internal conflict you have between your mind and your heart. Then the outside will take care of itself. That's the formula you need to follow. And this is the right order for you. There is no other way around. You don't reverse engineer how can you craft better art or better whatever your trade is in order to get confidence from the thing you do. It works, but to a certain extent, no. Have the acknowledgement of the heart first and then consider the outside world. That's how it works. This is the secret. Point number 3. Confidence requires action and checkpoints as proof. You need to set clear for yourself that as soon as you change a belief, you will require proof. And for this, here is the secret I have for you. Treat every small action or event or something that happens without your acknowledgement as being the mark or the checkpoint to bring you closer to your goal, to bring you closer to having more confidence. That's how you do it. This is the trick. So as soon as you decided, yes, I'll be having more confidence, I'm being calm in myself, I'm setting my own intention as you'll see it. I have coordination between heart and mind. I give no importance to things and I simply believe in myself, giving no importance, no extra meaning to anything because nothing is important. Everything just is. And with this state or with this stance, without labeling stuff, then I begin to walk through the world. And just as you see me, as I am in my own world, in my own bubble, that's true confidence, because I know where I'm going and I'm getting it without doubting, no, just adapting and going through life to what I want, right? And I'm following one very important rule. I never cross other people's borders. I never go over them, understand? You gotta follow this because you create all kinds of problems, and you should never push a door more than it should be pushed, because just next to it are multiple doors open, right? So for example, talking in concrete, if a relationship failed, there are loads of other girls even better than what she was when we're talking as men. Or you crashed your car, that's fine, you wanted a new one anyway. Or something failed, or a business didn't go through, that's even better, bro. You can't see what the universe has in store for you, right? So cultivate that true confidence I said about, right? So treat these points as checkpoints on your path to self-mastery and self-confidence. And when you do, you will see that every obstacle or every failed attempt of you getting the thing you want will be confidence. Because even if you don't get that thing, you will still have confidence, right? You don't rely on the external result because you just are. Part number 3, what to do when you have no confidence. For any cause, there is an effect. So if you want confidence, you already have what you need. We've covered this already, but here is something that's worth mentioning. That is point number 1, set the intention and follow it. You cannot have confidence if you don't have a reference point. Your intention is that reference point. I want you to get this clearly in your mind. If you have no confidence, it's because you have no intention, no clear intention. If I want to lift, let's say, if I want to lift a pad, I'm lifting it. That's my intention. I don't desire, I don't try, I don't argue, I don't desire. You understand? I said it, I think. But yeah, either way, I intend. That is, an intention is the process of taking what you want, or to put it more shortly, intention is the process of action to your goal. I still lengthen it a bit, but it's fine. So you see what I go with this? If you know what you want, you can clearly see you have confidence, because it doesn't reflect your inability or your technical inability or the lack of know-how. You know, right? So that's you. And as soon as you know, that becomes your intention. So that intention takes you and puts you on a path where you know where you're going. And this is what you need: an intention, a clear direction, a focus, so you can put your energy. And I said, when you find an obstacle, aka a failure, or something didn't go as planned, go around it, go through it, or just, find a way, but just don't struggle to open a closed door. In other words, flow through life. If you've lost a customer, there is loads. If you've lost a woman, there is loads. If you've crashed your car, there is loads of cars, right? Don't project attention, don't project meaning onto things you can't control. Just choose, don't change, choose. That's the art of self-mastery. So the point here being, if you want true confidence, set yourself an intention and follow it through. That's the secret. That's half of the battle already won in your favor. Point number 2, imagine you do the thing you're afraid of. Imagine taking the perspective of the outside. Right, let me give you a quick secret here. If you've got somebody that's higher than you, a customer or a boss, or somebody who you dependent on, a client, or somebody that's in a way intimidating to you, or even a dog, I'm saying, some dog that barks at you, then see this person and feel how they are, bro. Relax completely. I'm just giving you this exercise so you can know how to properly manage reality. Relax completely and simply close your eyes, go into a deep meditative state and switch on to their perspective. Take on their body. You will be, if you do this properly, if you do it long enough, often enough, not long enough, careful, often enough, you will start to feel how that person is. And the moment you meet that person in real life, there will be a totally new degree of connection between you and that person. I know this trick from loads of old books, bro, and I'm telling you, it bloody works, man. Try it. So take on the perspective of the animal, or of the boss, or of the client, and you'll get closer to them. So my question is, will doing this give you more confidence? On a physical level, it will give you perspective, it will give you knowledge, it will give you understanding. On a metaphysical level, it will tune your energy to the thing in question, right? But what it does mostly on the physical level, it prepares you. When you see failure coming, you already run the scenario. Now you prepared for it, you expect it, and you're good with that. This is the trick. You're good with that. You accepted it beforehand, and you can live with it. That's the art. That's the mastery of understanding the game of true confidence, and obviously have no expectations. Point number 3, drop the meaning and act as an observer, because it compounds. When I say drop the meaning, you drop the importance you give to something. The more you make something important, the worse it is. Because we live in a universe where impermanence is the coin it runs by. Time will swallow everything, but this has nothing to do, to a certain extent, to what we're talking about. And that's fine, because you want to drop the importance to anything. Nothing will be important. This is what I'm trying you to understand. Why would you give so much meaning to something when that something should be your standard, or that something should be part of your everyday reality? Why do you project so much importance? It is not good. And here we talk about it compounds and also acts as an observer, which means that the more you observe things, it compounds. It will give you a sense of self-mastery, but there is nothing to brag about. It's just that calm trust in the universe, and you're connected to everything. This is the art of true confidence. But you achieve this only by becoming an observer. You observe not only yourself, but also the reality and how the flow of things is going, right? Because reality, when you do something bad, when you don't drop the meaning and you give too much importance, reality will give you a quick warning, another one, and a bigger one. And lastly, it will give you, like after 3 warnings, it's going to give you the final one where it's going to restore the balance. This is how you see people going into hospitals, crashing cars, or destroying relationships, or anything of that nature, just because they didn't drop the meaning, and also because they didn't notice the flow of things and what the universe asked them to do. That is to drop the importance by shifting the point of attention to somewhere else, right? And so with this in mind, when you just simply observe, you need to understand that you need to choose. You don't change people and events. That would require so much energy, and you don't have it, because you have 2 types of energy: the cosmic energy and the fuel, what you consume. The cosmic energy is infinite. This is what you need to work with. This is the synchronicities, the events. This is just your ability to choose, right? To stay alive a bit for the glimpse you on this plane. But the cosmic energy is what you're dealing with. And your heart, when you drop the importance and you have that confidence, you can change the flow of things in the outside just by taking the observer stance and seeing how the universe connects with you and talks to you through people, events, even the algorithm, and what the algorithm is giving you as information for your cause to fulfill your intentions or your goals. And this is the secret of true confidence. If you want to work with me, that's fine. Check the link in the description. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.